Okay, I'm going to be talking about what can cause damage to your vocal cords and potentially ruin your vocals or your voice, slash maybe even breath control. A big one, which I'm going to start off with, is smoking. Smoking causes an inflammation type symptom on your lungs, which causes redness, swelling, increased mucus, a thickening of the mucus tissue along the lining of your throat and lungs. It also causes damage in the lungs, which can affect your breath control, which can again affect your voice in various different ways, which aren't great. It also gives you the potential of getting growths on your vocal cords. It gives you a potential to grow polyps, which can again affect your voice, cause to a potential surgery, which can again even more affect your voice. Another one that can also be caused by smoking is cancer, which, as I said, causes ruined vocal cords, potential surgery, everything and anything along those lines, really. My next one would be alcohol. Alcohol restricts and restrains your voice, which is why it's not potentially good to have alcohol before a show, although it's good and socially what you should do. It's something that for your own voice you shouldn't do, especially with big stars. I can imagine they're probably pressured to have alcohol before shows, which is a bad idea. It causes cancer again in your vocal cords and throat, which can cause, again, surgery, which can potentially damage your vocal cords further. It also makes them quite dry, which then can cause further damage to the cells in the back of the throat, which can affect your vocal cords even more. The next one that I'd like to talk about is caffeine. Caffeine is considered a dehydrant, which basically means that it does not hydrate you correctly. It causes dryness in the back of your throat, which can affect your singing. It can cause further damage to the vocal cords. It can cause redness and swelling, especially when you're not properly hydrated. Another really big one, which can heavily affect your voice, is not singing for a long period of time. Your vocal cords and throat work like a muscle, and that muscle needs to be used and practiced with. So imagine if you go to the gym every day, and then you go to the gym for 5 or 6 years, and then all of a sudden you stop, and you don't go for 4 or 5 years. You're not going to be as strong as when you were going to and from the gym. It is easier for you to rebuild up the voice and the vocal technique afterwards due to muscle memory and being more used to the techniques. However, just not singing for long periods of time can definitely cause not damage, but it can weaken your vocal cords, which is another big thing. Singing while ill can cause huge damage in the back of your throat, especially when you have a cold. The reason why you have a sore throat when you're cold is because the bacteria enters in through key cells in the back of your throat, which means they enter into your cells, and instead of your cells replicating DNA, they start to replicate the bad bacteria that's put in them. This means that one very small, tiny bacteria that was harmless to your body is now millions, and it spreads like wildfire, entering into more and more cells and being more and more replicated. The way that your body prevents this is that it kills all and any infected cells in the back of your throat before more and more get released. However, as a bad side effect of this, you leave your back of your throat exposed. It's like almost getting rid of the top layer of skin. Your skin underneath is going to be sore and not quite as used to the outside world yet. It's not strong enough yet, and you won't have any non-characterizing cells on the outside, which are your protective cells. It also causes your throat to become dehydrated and unlubricated, because it also gets rid of goblet cells, which are found in all and any moist epithelial tissue, which is what lines the back of your throat. It kills the goblet cells off, which then can't produce mucus or moisture to moisturize your throat. So 1, you should drink plenty of water when you're ill, help lubricate them, and you should not sing or excessively use your voice unless you absolutely have to, because it will cause further damage to both the vocal cords, the back of your throat, and even your lungs. Your nose is all bunged up as it is anyway, so you won't be able to use quite as good breath control when doing that. Another one that can cause damage or temporary damage is dairy. If you try and sing with dairy, dairy produces loads of mucus in the back of your throat, which makes it harder for you to hit the high notes. And therefore you will have to push your vocal cords further to get the same result. This can again cause damage to the vocal cords and the lungs because you're pushing it up and not allowing it to be at its maximum potential. So you should definitely avoid dairy before doing a show in order to avoid this. Another one, which unfortunately a lot of the time can't be helped, is if you need surgery on anywhere around here, your neck, your throat, even the lower lungs or the head can cause damage to the vocal cords. This one, it cannot be helped, but it's definitely a side effect. It can cause damage to them, which means that they are nowhere near as strong as they used to be. It can cause them to cause themselves damage. It can cause them to weaken. It can cause multiple bad effects, or even together at some points you won't be able to use them for long periods of time, which can then weaken them a lot more, and everything and anything like that. Thank you.